Hi everyone, and welcome to the Aquamarine blog. This week we are being joined by Justine Coneybeer from Fairsew, all the way from Cambodia. Hi Justine.
Hello, hi Alison, thanks for having me.
And I'm Alison Rentoul, the CEO and founder of Aquamarine Home, the ethical and sustainable homewares company. And I'm really excited to be talking to Justine because I came across her through a Facebook group, I think it was, that we first connected, and got in touch with her, and we had a chat, and my goodness, the two of us were just like, blah, blah, blah. So such kindred spirits and like-minded souls, I think, and definitely singing from the same hymn sheet. So I'm really excited to interview Justine for you guys and let you find out as well all the fantastic things that they're doing at Fairsew in Cambodia. But before we get stuck into that, I just want to ask you, Justine, how on earth did you end up in the situation where you are now? Like, what were you doing before you set off for Cambodia, and how did this all happen?
Definitely a bit crazy, I admit, but essentially, like, I've always been a bit of a traveller. This is the third country that I've lived in outside of Australia, so after I did 9 months away in Europe, I came home to Australia and I just decided that I wanted to follow my passion. So I worked for a while. I finished my 2 degrees back in Australia, and a part of those degrees I had to do internships. So this is like the 6th year into my university degrees, by the way. I'm like, it was going on for a bit of a long time, but I just thought, like, if I'm going to do an internship, I wanted to make sure that it was going to be a very valuable experience. And so I was trying to talk to people in Australia as well, but I kind of decided that for me to get a really good understanding of ethical fashion, I really wanted to understand first tier, so looking at the human side of the fashion industry, as we all know, as the all the labor issues in the industry. So I started trying to make contacts, and it so happened that my university supervisor had met the founder of Fairsew before, and just got in contact with her, and she asked me over to Cambodia. So I literally just packed my bags, quit my job, and I thought, if nothing happens here in Cambodia, then I'll go to Europe, or I'll go find something. I needed to be passionate about what I was doing, and I was really ready to pursue ethical fashion. So I came over here in Phnom Penh. There is such a crazy atmosphere and hub here for ethical and sustainable businesses. It's a hub for NGOs, and so I've just been meeting the most incredible people that are so inspiring. And then I interned for Annalise, did a bit of work for her, really saw the potential in her business and in the model that she was trying to do. So
This was at Fairsew.
Yes, at Fairsew, yeah. And yeah, she asked me on board, and now I'm her business partner. Ever since then. Yeah.
And so what's the timeline of that? Like, how long did that all take, and when was this?
So I came over in October last year, so October 2017, and started my internship, which was just for 1 month actually. So I did November, finished off everything. I had to do a few little assignments for my university in Queensland. And then we started having our sort of investment partnership conversations. And then I officially started in February of this year. But, I've ever since I found out about the opportunity, I've been, putting some things away and thinking about things. So it's so exciting for me to have this opportunity and really to understand more about how production works as well, and how we can make it a more valuable experience for everyone in the supply chain. So I feel very lucky to be able to actually talk to our staff, and I've done a couple of interviews with them, and I just walk around and talk to them and ask them what their jobs were were like before, what they like about working at Fairsew. Actually, tonight we have a staff dinner, all of us going out to dinner together. So yeah, it's really fantastic to actually be able to talk to these people that we're that are, you know, having issues. They're the ones that are really suffering in the supply chain. So I just can't believe there's just such beautiful people. And for any of us to take advantage of that, you know, these people have, you know, they've just, there's like 3 people here that have just had babies, or like, you know, I've met their children as well. It's just how we could ever let them suffer in the supply chain. It's just so sad to me. So yeah, that's kind of the story.
That was a great little nutshell that you got that all into. So, I mean, I was just going to come back and say, what is it that you're passionate about? I think you kind of touched on it there, but just tell us a little bit more about like what makes you so passionate about the ethical supply chain for clothing and things like that.
It's kind of interesting because I think it's so basic in that it's, you know, of course people, why would you want to purchase clothing where someone has had to suffer? You know, it shouldn't be like that whatsoever. It's just like I feel very passionate about fashion. I think it's such an amazing tool for all of us. Everyone is involved with the fashion industry, whether they like it or not, whether they think they're stylish or care about wearing clothes or not. We all wear clothes. And so to let a system that's so integral to human beings and yet to be so disgraceful to human beings as well. It's really, it's not about like saving people or, you know, sympathizing for people at all. It's just like, you know, how did this go so wrong? We need to sort this out. And then, you know, countries like Cambodia, their economies will change. You know, same with Bangladesh, where they have like their GDP is like 80% of garment exports. It's like we can help them so much by just doing business. You know, we don't have to give money to charities. We can just do business. It doesn't have to be sympathy. It's so basic in that, it's just about treating people the right way and giving them opportunity that we all deserve. And I've really, really been astounded by my own privilege, certainly being Australian. Like, you just don't realize the things that you're privileged with, like even like knowing, I've said this a couple of times as well, knowing why it's good to brush your teeth. Like you just don't think about having that knowledge, like, yes, I know that that's good for my health to brush my teeth. When some people just don't know that they should brush their teeth, you know, it's such a basic thing, but they're not taught that. And so we really need to work together as a, you know, global economy to try and help each other out, because we're so capable of it. So ridiculously capable of it, and we don't have to sort of pull money out our pockets and give it to people. We can just do the same things that we do, purchase beautiful clothing, and just make sure that the people behind that clothing haven't suffered for it. So yeah, it's quite simple.
Yeah, well, here. I mean, I'm totally on the same page, and I'm sure lots of the people watching would be cheering in the background as well. So, have you always been passionate about that, or is there any one particular thing that sort of opened your eyes or made you become aware of this, or was it your family? Like, how did this come about?
Well, actually, originally my interest in fashion has come from my mother. She always made her clothes when she was younger, and so when I was in my teen years, I was playing around a little bit with her sewing machine and things, and trying to get to know her more, because she passed away when I was 2, actually. So it was kind of like an interest in, like, I want to know more about her and maybe try and find elements of her in myself as well. So that's where it sort of came about. I'm not a good sewer whatsoever, by the way. I'm a bit shocking, but I found an interest for it. I don't know, just kind of in trying to find my mum, I guess. And then I started my degree not really knowing where I wanted to go. I didn't want to be a designer, but I just wanted to understand the industry more, because I mean, it's so fun. And finding especially I guess in my interest in my teen years, where you're really finding yourself, and trying to figure out who you are, break away from the crowd a little bit. I was doing that a little bit with my fashion choices. And so I was kind of learning more about how fashion can shape your personality, or can help show off your personality as well. So I think it was in the first year, or maybe second year of my degree, I did a subject in ethics and sustainability. And we started talking about...
That's really cool that they even covered that at university. That's fantastic.
It's one of the first subjects that you do in that degree at it was a degree in creative industries at QUT. Mm-hmm. And so it was one of the first subjects. They started talking about sweatshops, and I was like, I didn't know that they still existed. Yeah. And so it was very new to me, and I would have been probably still 18 at that point. And so I just started getting really upset about it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, how is this still going on? Yeah. And I've always actually been interested in philosophy as well. So to pursue that was very interesting for me as well. To think about the, traditional sort of philosophical morals and ethics. Mm-hmm. I was introduced to that and started learning more about the detrimental effects of the industry on the planet. And I mean, I'm an ocean lover. I've grown up in a family of surfers. So I just thought that was ridiculous that this is happening. No one's stopping it. Like how does no one take responsibility for this? And then, I grew up in a family of travelers as well. So I've been very inspired by my parents in their young years, actually, with all their traveling. And so I went to a lot of different places, and it was probably in Indonesia, where you see all the rubbish on the beaches, and it's just like, so heartbreaking, so heartbreaking. So a lot of my passion is just like, well, let's do right by people and let's do right by the planet, because, I mean, as we all know, plastic is just absolute plague on the planet. I recently saw a video actually of basically a river of rubbish flowing very fast. And it's just like, yeah, it's overwhelming, It is. But we have to actively change. That's all. I know it's overwhelming, but if we all, if at least some of us start and then start to inspire others, that's how we create change. So.
Yeah, 100%. It's just lots of people doing little things that will make a big impact. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. So tell us more about what Fairsew actually does.
So Fairsew is a ethical garment manufacturer. We don't have our own label. I think a lot of people get a little confused with that. So we're purely production. So clients can come to us, brands can come to us, and they either some people come to us just for our quality, actually, which is really great. And then some people come to us purely because of our policies with our staff. So we're basically full service. Someone can come to us with no design experience, pitch their idea, and we can help them essentially develop it, create sketches, tech packs. We can do the pattern making. We source fabric as well, but clients are still welcome to send us their own fabric. We even do a little fabric tour actually here in the markets in Phnom Penh, because there's a lot of markets here, as you may imagine, and a lot of the remnant fabrics, leftover rolls from the bigger factories, they land in those markets. So we use them as well. And I know there's a little bit of a debate in the industry about remnant fabrics, because usually they do get sold. But come to Cambodia, come see the massive, there's just houses full of fabrics right up to the ceiling. And my business partner, Annalise, she says that she's been into some of these places over the 10 years she's been here. And she said that fabric hasn't moved. Right. So it's a little bit about, well, it's there, so maybe we should use it and not create a new fabric.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, it's so amazing to be making new organic, sustainable, eco-friendly fabrics as well. So, but I mean, some of our clients can use it, and it's a unique sort of selling point for them because it's kind of one-off, because you
Yeah.
just find one roll, and
Yeah.
they, or you may not never find it again. It's a little bit like unsure.
Limited edition.
Yeah, exactly. So we do a little tour with clients that come visit us in Cambodia, and they seem to really enjoy that. It's a very local experience for sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'd love to come and do that one day with
Yes,
you.
please come. Phnom is amazing. It's really fun. So.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
fantastic. And so what kind of clients do you guys have now?
So at the moment, we're really trying to move beyond a smaller facility and get a bit bigger. We have we don't have any intention of, having 1,000 employees all in one factory. At the moment, we have about 15 in our team, but it's very surprising how much you can push out with only 15 people. It's very interesting. So we've got people that are making orders between like 100 to 500, and now we're looking for people that are a little bit more consistent with their orders. But one example is Good Krama. They're based here in Cambodia, and so we make their clothes, and they actually come visit us very often to come see the women. We've got them, actually, they're coming in today to come take some photos, and they also like to talk to the girls and find out their stories of what they like about Fairsew as well, and where they've come from, and share their story a little bit more, which I think is really fantastic. There's another, we've got Alexandria Main. She's Queensland based, I believe Sunshine Coast. So she has these beautiful Cambodian silk caftans. So it's Cambodian silk is a traditional weaving process. And so she is supporting a really great Cambodian craft and keeping that craft alive, which I think is very special. There's Liza League, which is, she's American based in the US. She's got a few suppliers all over the world and very much fair trade based. So we work with people all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are. We can work with you. So we're just trying to expand so we can hire more people and hopefully make it easier for people to turn to ethical production as well. That's the idea, because it doesn't need to be horrendously expensive. It can still be affordable, and you can still help people have good lives. So
Absolutely. And it's not just fashion, is it? Because you guys are branching out into homewares with things like cushions, which we're talking to you about, and other kinds of things that you can make, anything that you can make out of textiles, I guess, and that you can sew.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's based on our machinery, but we're very happy to take on other people's ideas and see what they want to do with us, because I think in the industry as well, it's certainly going to be easier to find ethical fashion than it is to find ethical homewares, unless they're sort of like handicraft sort of stuff, when it can just be, normal production, normal quality that you would see every day in the store. But yeah, no one suffered for it. You can do it with anything. You can do it with anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as you say, it's harder to find ethical homewares, although it is starting to come in now. But the ethical fashion is certainly leading the way. So it's great that we're able to kind of, jump on that bandwagon and follow in the path that people like you have been carving out for us already, which is awesome. So I know people who are watching this are going to be looking at your fabulous earrings and wondering where they came from, and I asked you about them before we started recording. Oh, they're so gorgeous. So just tell the guys where you got those from and your whole kind of ethos behind that.
So I actually recently only got my ears pierced, probably in the last 3 years or something. And it's been very fun for me in terms of my style as well, especially going into ethical fashion, because definitely limited my purchases now. I don't have, like, I try and buy things that are more timeless, or maybe they're just a little bit boring, you know, to make them a little bit more timeless. So I bought these earrings because they're very colorful and they can basically add as an accessory to my outfits, and they change a lot of things. So that's how my style sort of evolved from starting to wear ethical clothing, is that where I'm trying to not consume as much and make better purchases that generally are a bit more expensive, even though I still buy from op shops as well. It's just my little sort of treat that I can buy earrings every now and again. And it's so much easier to find ethically made earrings because a lot of people make them. And I bought these from a store in Brisbane, where I'm from, which was basically a little store that stocks a lot of different Etsy craft artists in the area, and that store is called Thousand Island Dressing. Any Brisbane people will probably know it because it is a great little store. So yeah, that's that kind of ethos behind my you know, crazy earrings every now and again. I've got some bright tassels as well, which I get a lot of compliments on. So it's kind of becoming a part of my style and personality even more now, what I'm going to wear for my earrings for the day. So
I love it. And it's such a cool way, as you say, of changing up like what's a very classical sort of shirt and a timeless shirt, you know, just changing the earrings and you've got a whole new outfit. And that's a really, really cool kind of mindset shift to get into with fashion, to just be able to, you know, instead of changing your shirt all the time, you can just change your earrings. And
exactly. You can do a lot with accessories. I used to wear a lot of like thin scarves as well, but it's very hot in Cambodia, so I haven't been able to do that. Sometimes I even just wear it around my wrist as something just to add a little bit of color. At the moment, I'm just wearing like a white shirt from Everlane, actually, and some shirts that I found in an op shop here, and some shorts that I found in an op shop. So the outfit itself is a bit boring, so you got to add a little bit of pizzazz.
Oh wow, jinx! We both said the same word. That's funny. So what's next for Fairsew? Like, what exciting new things have you got on the horizon?
So next year, we're planning on moving to a new facility that can house more sewers.
Yes.
So we're looking at different facilities. There's one I have an eye on, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be available next year. But it's this absolutely beautiful place. It was originally a garment factory where they actually had these massive warehouses for the sewers, but as well as like chemical dyeing and everything. And it was abandoned for many years. I can't remember how many. And it's been bought up and renovated now. So it's now a community space. So there's a lot of like small little offices, as well as the sort of community style offices. There's a cafeteria, there's a skate park. They have a restaurant there. They even have a childcare. So I think with now learning about all of our staff that you know, we've had so many people go on maternity leave in the 5 months that I've been here. There's been, I think, maybe 3, and then maybe a 4th one. She's pregnant, so I think she's going to go on maternity leave at the end of this year. So we're like, okay, what can we do to help these women to make sure that they, you know, are spending enough time with their children? And if we can give them the chance to visit their children in childcare, you know, on their, like, that would be really fantastic. So that's a facility that I've eyed off, particularly for that reason, because they've got that childcare there. And even if they have slightly older kids as well, maybe they can play in the skate park. You know, it's a really fun area, which I really, really love. And there's such a great sense of community there, which is really important as well. Because, the staff have said to me that one of the girls here, she used to work in one of those big garment factories. Really? And what she said about loving Fairsew was that they work in a small team, that they help each other out. And when she was one of 1,000, she didn't get that chance. And you just learn, you know, the one part. She said that actually that was what else she said is she likes Fairsew because she gets to learn so many different styles. And in the factory, they didn't do, I think it might have just been like a t-shirt factory or something, but they didn't do different things. So even though they think it's hard to start different styles and learn how to do the different designs that our clients come up with, they do enjoy the challenge because they're like, oh, it's easy now. I'm like, okay, well, like, I'm sorry, we'll do something different now.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really good to check in with them and see like, what do you like doing, and to hear that they value learning how to do the full garment is really great. Like they do say it can be it's a challenge and stressful, but at the end they find it rewarding when they find it easy. So which is really great to hear, you know, because that's all about a learning process as well. And excited about learning, and they're going to be very excellent. Like, I mean, they're already like highly skilled compared to the market here, because a lot of the sewers, they only learn how to do one part of the garment or maybe a couple. And so here they're learning how to do the full garment. And so they're going to be very highly skilled. So a couple of them at home, they sew and they sell some of their own clothes in their community. So which is really great, because we want them to be skilled, and we want them to love their craft as well. So I mean, I can't sew, so they're all better than me.
I'm hopeless as well. Sewing and knitting, just I love the idea of doing it, but pretty much about 5 minutes after I start, I'm like, oh, this is so boring. I want it to be finished now.
The machine just like there's somehow just string all over me by like in the first 10 minutes. So
but I really love that, you know, that they're getting a real sense of achievement and accomplishment through learning these new skills, and as you say, following a garment from start to finish, and having ownership as well, and autonomy over what they're doing. That's just so empowering, really, isn't it? And, you know, such a difference, as you say, from the big factory where they're just like a little, you know, almost like a machinery component inside a big machine. And being treated as such as well, you know, not being treated as a full human with all the other things that go with their life and their role. And I mean, childcare, it seems like such a basic thing, and yet we can't even get that right in Western society, you know, like back in Australia and Melbourne, how many people actually have childcare at their work? You know, how many women are stuck in that situation where they can't afford to go back to work because it actually costs almost as much money as they would make in their salary to put their children into childcare, which I think is just ludicrous in this day and age. But, you know, that's a whole nother soapbox to get on another time.
There's plenty of times where I'm just like, they've got it pretty good. They have 28 public holidays here.
Wow.
So, they get plenty of leave. Sometimes I think, all right, we're doing well, and it's fantastic. It completely warms my heart when I talk to them. And like one of the girls said that her family was really proud of her because she's financially independent.
That's so awesome.
She said that through a translator essentially, and once the translator said it to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to hear, you know. And one of the other women, they said that they're happy to be financially independent from their husband, that they can look after themselves as well, and that they don't need their husband. So
I mean, really, that's so empowering, isn't it, for them to not be kind of tied in a situation, perhaps, you know, even if that maybe she's happily married, but if they're not happily married, for them to have their own income and to be able to be independent, it just changes the whole sort of power balance completely. And I think it's just wonderful what you guys are doing. And, you know, hopefully other people watching this are maybe other garment producers, or, you know, fashion designers, or retailers, you know, who might be thinking, well, we're getting this other stuff made somewhere else, but we're not really sure about how it's being made. you know, or the impact that's coming from that, and they might think about coming over to you guys and talking to you about it. And as you say, you know, it only it's just, maybe it's just as cost effective to go with you guys, and then you actually know the positive impact that you're making as a result of making that decision.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all about transparency. So we're very happy to give people a copy of our policies and how we do things. We're very happy for anyone to come to our facility. We encourage it to come see the women working. I think they're actually getting a little bit like annoyed by the amount of people asking them questions now, though. Because they're like, "Are you happy?" Like, yes, but I need to do my work. So the other day we did like we did 2 sets of small interviews in the 1 week. I'm like, oh, like, Sapik, do you want to do this interview? She's like, no, I have to work. I'm like, I have to finish this. Like, take a break. No, I want to do this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's like, it's funny that they're like happy and now they just want to get on with their work. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the real sort of key to motivation. I mean, having in one of my previous lives been a leadership trainer and you know, sort of team building coach and things like that. Yeah, like giving people autonomy over their work and empowering them and enabling them to see the big picture and make their own decisions and manage their own time, and all of that sort of stuff is super motivating. And you know, of course, treating them really well and respectfully and fairly and all of those things too, that's going to generate a super motivated workforce and a super loyal team, which is great. It's wonderful to see the whole cycle and to prove that, you know, that you don't have to kind of stand there and crack a whip on people to get them to work. You just actually have to treat them the right way and, you know, literally do the right thing, and then they'll do the right thing by you.
I mean, we're so happy. We've had, like I said before, we've had a few people go on maternity leave, and we're so happy to welcome them back after their maternity leave as well, because it is a common thing here that if someone wants to go away on leave, or if someone is having a baby, then they just have to quit their job and then hope that they'll be taken back when the time is right for them. So we're really glad that they're coming back, and that they feel that they have enough time with their families. I did check with them the other day as well. So it's definitely so rewarding, and I don't know how anyone, you know, can profit off other people's backs. It really doesn't, you know. Actually, today I was in a store and I just wanted to buy Tim Tams for everybody so that they could like taste Australian Tim Tams. So yeah, but you know, we're having our staff party tonight, and yeah, it's all about making sure that people feel that they're valued, because we do value them so much. And if we can create more jobs to welcome more people, and eventually the vision is for Annalise and I to step back so that Cambodians can run this business, and maybe we can set up the same model in another country that needs support as well, somewhere like Myanmar perhaps. So that's the sort of idea where we can step back, because we don't need to run it. You know, they can run it. They need a little bit more training, some upskilling, and then we can step away and the business is theirs. So that's the idea.
That is super exciting. Oh, Justine, it's been so great talking to you. And obviously the two of us could just keep talking all day.
Definitely
Putting the world to rights. So tell everyone, what's your web address? Where can they find you?
So you can find us at www.fairsew.com, and our Instagram handle is the same, Fairsew. Yeah, that's our 2 main contacts. Otherwise, we've got my email address is Justine, Justine, at Fairsew, FAIRSEW.com.
Fantastic. Oh, and please, anybody, if you are watching and you're interested in any kind of garment or homewares, soft furnishings, as in like, you know, tea towels, table linen, cushions, bedspreads, even anything like that, bags maybe, these are the guys to talk to. So please do get in touch with them. Justine, have a fantastic day. It's been super lovely chatting with you, and hopefully we'll get to have a chat again in the future and talk about some new exciting developments that come up for you guys.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to share with you as well. Thanks so much for the chat today, Alison. I really enjoyed it.
My pleasure. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye.